Northerners. There is Huayna Capac. His inexperienced nobles are running away. Let's go after him. The Inca held to his tumbling litter, while his pallbearers made an effort to keep him aloft. In a moment's notice, his experienced generals came and saved the Sapa Inca. Huayna Capac, you are quite disturbed for what happened with the young nobles. Contrasol, from now on I will act as if they don't exist. Inca, you are making a grave mistake. How else can I let them know of my disgust, except by depriving them of their necessities? Inca, that deliberate disregard for our own has brought us personal and national calamities. We don't seem to forget unwelcome events, and we can't confront them either. We all seem to carry undeclared wars in our hearts. Contrasol, I cannot allow this episode to be unpunished, let alone to go unnoticed. Somehow, I must let these young nobles know of my displeasure. Warriors of the Chinchasuyo, Calasuyo, and Condasuyo. I will have a big Taki fiesta to celebrate my first encounter. Although unsuccessful, I am still alive. Inca, you have not invited the Antais or even mentioned the young nobles. They are gathering in the great Mulocancha Plaza. I will go to see what is happening. Contrasol. We came with the statue of the sun to help the Inca in his battles, and he should realize that we have more privileges than the warriors of the other nations. Mihi and Ancas Callas, don't do anything drastic. You know what the price for insurrection is. Man of the future, you, who speaks about democracy, rarely spend time with the masses. Young nobles, in this trip to the past, I am trying to bring to the attention of the Inca lords our problems, hoping that their message will help your descendants. Who knows, your gathering is the first step in your liberation from an all-powerful Inca lord. Sometimes the changes that a nation must make to right its destiny takes place when danger is imminent. In spite of what you are saying, we are taking with us the statue of Inti to the sacred city. It seems that the farther we are from Cuzco, the further away we get from our lineage. Contrasol, what did they say? The young nobles have decided to leave. Are they abandoning me in the middle of a war? I have to do something. You, Canary woman, as an official mourner, take the idol of Mama Aklo and through her urge them to stay. Behind the dummy statue, the sorceress came out in a trance that caused consternation in the young nobles. Young nobles, I am the mother of all of you. Return with the golden statue of Inti to the temple, and the Inca will rectify his neglect toward you. Huayna Capac. They are coming back. Contrasol, it is all a bluff. They know that I resent them for their actions, and they will feel aggravated for the rest of their lives. Do you realize what is happening? It used to be that the Inca lord had the last word, and no one dared to contradict him. You are witnessing the rise against an all-powerful potentate. The empire is entering into another era, and it will need a leader who is going to unite the people in earnest. Man of the future, you have been clamoring for anarchy. Now it is happening. Inca, changes are always welcome if it fosters union. The empire was a house divided against itself, as is well stated by the American writer Arnold Toynbee. Those are foreign words to us. We couldn't have had a union, unless the Inca was in complete control of the empire. Inca, a house divided against itself was stated by Abraham Lincoln, a great leader of the North in the American continent, when his country was in the throes of division of their union. With those prophetic words, we should understand why we lost to the invaders, and why we are losing to ourselves. A house divided against itself? That sounds odd. I will make peace with the young nobles. Mihi and Ancas Callas, I have been too long away from Cuzco, and that is causing some dissension among us. As of right now, all the provisions of the town are for you to have. I urge you to stay. We have to retake the fortress of the Carancs. The young nobles accepted his conciliatory words. However, this episode left a precedent. The Inca had to account for his actions. The celebrations lasted for months. Meanwhile, more troops and Mitamis were arriving for the next and third phase of this prolonged war against a formidable enemy intent on fighting to their last man. The Northerners knew they either joined the Incas peacefully or succumbed if they fought them. Aki Topa, the Cayambis, and the Caranc are in the fortress. It behooves us to make an all-out effort to enter their compound and do the fighting inside. If we let them escape, we will have to fight them in distant places. This time, we will be in command. We seem to be losing every time we give the leading responsibilities to other nations. Let our young nobles do the fighting to vindicate themselves, as warriors. Sapa Inca, the fortress is in an elevated terrain. It is going to be difficult to get to the top, where all their warriors are. The Inca addressed his troops, warriors of the 4 cardinal points. Fight to either win or lose. However, the latter is not acceptable. Therefore, enter the fortress to die. They began their assault on the mountain hill that had been made into a fortress with 5 levels, each heavily defended and to be taken one at a time. Lances and stones were thrown from high above, causing a blanket of darkness in the early morning. By noon, the Incas were at the 4th level and out of weapons. Aki Topa. We have no more arms. We won't be able to reach to the 5th level. In the midst of the rain of stones, their general fell mortally wounded. Mihi. Aki Topa is dead, you have to lead us. I will. We must keep on fighting. Mihi. We have to retreat to rearm. Encas Callas, we are almost at the last level. Mihi. The warriors from the other nations are running away. We have to follow them. At least Huayna Capac will know that we were the last to leave. In their hasty retreat, the Cayambis and Carancs followed the Incas until they reached a river that was their division. Great Huayna Capac. We are some of the few runners who were able to cross the river. We bring you bad news. Your brother died in action. Since we had no more arms and a way of winning, we had to abandon the fortress. We have killed many of them. The citadel is for you to take it. Chasquis. I am not angry at your retreat, but I am for the loss of my brother. I will go to the fortress, as soon as my young nobles arrive. Mihi and Encas Callas. You did well. We have to return and fight until they surrender. Unable to defend their stronghold, the northerner General Pinto and his captain Canto fled to a lake with 2 islands. Pinto, the Incas are not going to stop until they kill all of us. The few prisoners that they are taking are only to be shown as trophies, and then sacrificed. Canto, we might as well die in these marshes than in their wicked city of the sun. Inca, I have been witnessing these events and you have killed so many of them that this once crystalline lake is red with the blood of your adversaries. Contorsol, if they had surrendered peacefully, Pinto and Canto would be now enjoying our women and chicha. From now on, this bloody lake will be called Yawarcoca.